Hey there, Bestie. It's Lisa. Welcome back. Today we are going to make some outdoor fall DIY decor by request. But before we get started, our word of the day is low-key. Stay to the end to find out what it means. For our first outdoor DIY, we're going to start with 3 pumpkins and a squash. And I got them somewhere between Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree where I found them. I'm sure you can find them at Walmart too. I've got some letters to spell out the word fall, wood letters that I got at Walmart, and 2 thicker dowels. So I'm going to put my letters on a tape that's kind of backwards so that it'll stick to it while I paint. That's a little tip for painting small things, helps keep them in place. And I'm going to paint the F, the L, and the L all in the pumpkin colored chalk paint by Waverly, and the A in the maize color. Then I glued them to the front and I stuck the dowel in them, and I forgot to turn the camera on, but I just stuck the dowel in all of them, and so they all stuck to each other. It was very easy to do. I didn't need to drill any holes or anything like that. They're just styrofoam. And like I said, hot glued the letters on, and now I'm going to hot glue some really pretty leaves. I think I got this little garland of leaves at Walmart quite a few years ago, but they're a little bit shimmery, like almost like silky, but they're very pretty and I like them. So I'm going to put just different ones in between each of the pumpkins just to give it a cute little, fall festive look, almost like leaves had blown on them. And there we go with the last section where they're touching in between. Do you like to have outdoor decor? I'm starting to do a little bit more here and there. I don't have a big porch, so there's not a lot of room. And there's some outdoor kitties that like to get into it. So there's that. I'm going to put this pretty little sunflower up on the top by the stem. And then I decided the stem was too small. So I'm going to get a cork and I'm just going to paint it brown, and I'm going to stick it right in that stem because I just put a little hole in it with a dowel. And see, there you go. Put that hole right in the cork. And then I was able to put that right over that stem with a little hot glue. And it just gave it a better looking stem than what it had. Sometimes those stems are kind of plastic looking. So I just cut it, made it a little pointy with my nippers, and there we go, sticking it right in there. And that's really almost all there would be to this one, except I decided, what if it wouldn't stand up? So I've got a piece of scrap wood. I'm just going to paint it with the antique wax, and then I'm going to drill a hole right in the center. If you don't have a drill, a little trick is get a big fat nail and nail it in and then pull it back out with your hammer, and then you can do what I'm doing. So I am going to use a drill, and I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole also in the bottom of the pumpkin, which I didn't need to do, but since I had the drill out, I'm going to add a little bit of glue and stick my dowel in there. And now I'm just going to see how much of the dowel I need to have left after I cut off a piece, and I will stick the bottom pumpkin right on it with some glue, and there you go. Now it's got a nice little stand, and it's not going to topple over unless somebody literally kicks it over, which let's just hope those little kitties don't. They're kittens and they're so cute, you guys. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I really love this one. It was very easy to put together. You'll have to let me know if this is something you would like to try. For this outdoor DIY, I took 3 different pieces of wood. They're 2x4s. It was longer, and I did cut it down, but if you don't have a saw, maybe you can get a piece of wood like this at the hardware store and they'll cut it for you. So I made one longer, then one a little bit shorter, and one even shorter than that. So I'm going to paint the first one with a pumpkin color chalk paint from Waverly, the second one with moss, and then the last one with a combination of maize and antique wax. You'll see what I'm going to do here. I'm not going to show the moss one because you can imagine how to paint that, but I want to show you how I'm blending the other 2. So I'm going to very lightly go over it with the maize first. Then I'm going to take the antique wax and I'm going to not dry brush, but wet brush it on by letting the yellow paint be wet when I do it. So you get that combination of the 2 colors. So that's how I did that. So now they're all painted. I'm going to take this beautiful ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to take a piece, kind of fold it in half so both of the pretty sides are showing. And I'm going to cut 3 of those once I figure out how long I need them to be, because I'm going to need one for each of these 2x4s that we are now calling pumpkins. So each piece I've got together, and now I'm just going to fold the whole thing in half. Then I'll fold all the ends in half and cut from the end up towards that center where they're folded to make a dovetail. Some people call them tuxedo tails, but that's the easiest way to cut them. So now I'm going to fold the ribbon, twist it so that you only see the pretty sides, and I'm going to glue it to the very top of each of these 2x4s. And this will be like a pretty ribbon tail on our pumpkins. Then I'm going to take some raffia, which is actually a hula skirt from the Dollar Tree, and I keep that in my stash. And I'm just going to grab a bunch of them. I'm going to make a little bundle of it, and I'm going to glue that right to the top of that little ribbon tail. I did get smart, and by the second and third one, I tied a knot in the middle, so it was much easier to glue it down. Not sure what I was thinking the first one. That was a little crazy, just kind of trying to make sure that the glue was touching all of them. But if you just tie a knot right in the middle, they'll all stick together. Then I'm going to add several of these really pretty darker leaves right over that little bunched up area so that you don't see the fold. I did that with all 3 of them. I think they're so beautiful. I did trim down the bows after I was done because I felt like the tails were just a tad long. I'm going to take 2 corks, glue them together, and then paint them with the antique wax. And I'm going to do that for each of these pumpkins. I think this is a great way to make a pumpkin stem. It just gives it kind of that dirty pumpkin stem look. I'm going to take my drill and I'm just going to drill a hole right in the center there. Be very careful when you do that. You could also, again, pound a nail in before you glue them together. And then I'm going to put a hole with my drill in the top of each of those 2x4s. I'm going to take another little skewer or dowel. I'm going to put some glue, put it in the top there. Then I'll cut it off when figure out how long I want it to be to stick right into the cork to make that pumpkin stem. Add some more glue, and then look at that, just poke it right in there. And now I've got an adorable stem for my pumpkin, and I'm going to do that to all 3 of these pumpkins. Now I'm going to arrange them with the tallest one in the middle, and then I'm going to put either one of the other ones on the other side, and I'm just going to glue them together for quick hold before I tie them together. I'm going to use some rope, and I'm just going to wrap it around, starting on the back. I'll hot glue it on, and I'm going to wrap it around just to make it look the way I want, kind of a crisscrossy little wrap, and just until it looks kind of that nice farmhouse kind of fun look. And then I'll go back on the back, and I will glue it down and cut off the end. I'm also going to add some glue underneath that ribbon to make sure it stays in place, and a little bit on the back for reinforcement. You could also use a thicker glue. I'm just using hot glue for the purpose of making a video, but I would recommend wood glue for these kind of projects. And there it is. I think it turned out adorable. I do have it sitting on my front porch, so I'm excited about it. You'll have to let me know if you would like to try something like this. For this outdoor DIY, I've got this basket. It was just given to me by a friend of my mom's, and I'm going to paint it with the pumpkin chalk paint all the way around the inside and just a little bit of the outside. That kind of outer braided area is all I'm going to do. Then I've got this very small piece of wood. It was left over from a project a long time ago, and I wanted to just drill a hole through it because what I want to do is take a zip tie, put it through the basket, and then through that hole that I made along the side of it in order to attach it as a pumpkin stem. And I had cut it at slightly an angle so that it would sit a little bit sideways like a pumpkin stem. So you see how I put it through the hole that I drilled. I'm pulling it through. And of course, you could also glue this. You just need to use a very heavy duty glue and maybe a lot of hot glue to hold it while you were working with it. I'm going to put some really pretty big leaves there that I had left over, and I'm just going to start decorating the top of this pumpkin with some really cute little embellishments and leaves and so forth. Now I've got these pretty flowers. I think they're orange sunflowers and then another really pretty burgundy flower. I'm going to add some long leaves inside the basket on the bottom. I'm just going to start doing like a little decor there, almost a little bit of a swag look. I'm going to add a bunch of different leaves and then the 3 flowers there. And I'm just going to start, making it look really pretty and embellished. I don't want to go too crazy on this. That would be very easy to do. And I'm not saying that wouldn't look gorgeous to fill that with flowers. I think that would look beautiful. I didn't have enough of those. So I'm going to add some little acorns and more leaves. I'm adding some green leaves. I just want to give it a lot of dimension. Then I've got some pit berries that are like white and green, and I'm just going to wrap them around my finger and make some cute little tendrils for the top of the pumpkin, my favorite way to make tendrils. Now, I think you could do it with all kinds of things, but I love that these are wired and that they just stay in that shape. So nice. You could do it with chenille stems too, I would imagine. And I'm just going to add some more little acorns to the top there. I just kept adding things until it was just the way I thought it would look pretty, and some more little berries that I had left over. And I think it's just so cute. I'm loving the way this is looking. Then I thought it should maybe have a couple more leaves. You know how that is where you just keep looking. Anyway, I've got this pretty fall bow. matches a ribbon that I have from the Dollar Tree, so I'm sure they made it that way on purpose. It's got like a little twisty tie on it, so I'm just going to put it through the basket, twist it to the back, and hot glue that down so it doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to take that ribbon that matches it, and I'm going to make a bigger tail because I think that would look really cute on this. It's such a small ribbon for the size of the basket. So I'm just going to cut a piece, fold it in half so that you only see the pretty sides, and then I'll fold the bottom and cut some dovetails. Now I'm just going to pick up the other tails that are on there already, and I'm going to put it underneath and hot glue it right there and just make it look a little bit larger. Now, as I did that, I realized, oh, the bow loops aren't big enough now. So I'm going to take that same ribbon. I'm going to make 2 additional loops just by folding 2 pieces in half. I'm going to glue them together, and then I'm going to cut the inside points a little bit so you don't see them when you put them under the existing bow loops. You'll see what I mean right here. So I'm going to glue that together, and then I'll trim it down after I've got them, shaped into little loops. So see there, I just glued them down, and now I'm going to stick it underneath the other little bow loops, and now I think it looks more proportioned. Now, I could have just made a big bow with my ribbon that I had, but since I had that other one, I thought I should use it and let it go together with this. Anyway, I love how it turned out. It's hanging on my front door right now. So it works as a really nice fall wreath, but you could hang it anywhere you want. I hope you like it. For this outdoor DIY, I've got 2 of these little planters that look like barrels from the Dollar Tree. I thought they were really cute. I had them in my stash, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with them. So I've got a bunch of leaves also. I've got all different kinds, and these are lighter colored leaves. I think I got these at Walmart. I really love these leaves, and when I run out, I hope I can find them again. Now I'm just going to start gluing them to the very top edge of each of those barrels. And the way I'm going to do this, see there, I've got the lighter ones, and then I'm going to take some more, it's a little bit of darker ones. I'm going to put them in between, so like every other one. And I did that on both, you see that? And then I kind of shoved them down so they weren't on the very edge. And I used my Fix-All adhesive, put that all the way around one of those planter barrels. And also I'm going to alternate with hot glue in between so I get my quick hold right away. But then I've got that good glue for the long term. Now I'm just going to very carefully place them right on top of each other, open sides together. Now I have to maneuver it a little bit to make sure they're touching, and then I do go back with some hot glue and, touch it up here and there to make sure that everything is adhered to one another. And wherever I see a gap, I'm just going to add some more of those beautiful burgundy leaves. I think that's just the perfect combination of the lighter, the kind of orange, and then the burgundy leaves. I think it's beautiful. It almost looks like it's a barrel full of leaves and they're bursting at the seams. So now I'm going to add hot glue on the top, and I'm just going to put some Spanish moss all along the top just to cover up the brown bottom of the barrel. Now you notice there were holes there. So don't forget that we're going to use those holes. Even though you can't see them, they're still accessible through the moss. I've got these little pumpkin stems that I got at the Dollar Tree. They're so cute. I think they're from the Dollar Tree. Oh, you guys, I buy things so many places, sometimes I forget, so I might be wrong. Anyway, I'm going to take the tag off and make the stem a little bit shorter, and then I'm going to put them in those holes and just make it look like it's a little pumpkin plant growing out of the barrel. And I think this turned out really cute. I've also got this one sitting by my door. I just love the look of that barrel. It's a really cool planter that Dollar Tree brings out, usually like in the spring when they start putting all of their planter type things out there. I love it. Do you guys go on Pinterest for inspiration? I know I do, and I'm there and I post every day, so I hope I see you there sometime. Got the link down in my description box below. And there's the finished piece. I love it. I think it's so cute with the little pumpkins growing out of it. How adorable is that? Let me know what you think. And now for our word of the day, low key, and it means maybe or feeling moderately about something. So I'm just kind of low key liking that. And now you are in the know. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye.